Well, it is going to be an interesting one. Let's talk about MAKEOPTS. So, MAKEOPTS is a tool that we set in Gentoo to tell Portage how many compile jobs it can use. We set that using the following: MAKEOPTS equals, and then J, and you put the maximum number of threads you've got. So in my case, having 32 threads, I would put 32, and that would use 100% of the processor when it can. Now, there is a thing about using all the threads, is that your computer will then become too busy and won't be able to do tasks. So you might want to save 2 threads and just set 30, or you might want to use one of the tricks that I've mentioned in a previous video with the Portage scheduling policy equals idle, or the Portage license. Now, there is a problem though when you use all the threads, is it's going to use more RAM. So the general rule is, for every 2 gigabytes of RAM you got, it's one thread you can set. So if I only had 16 gigabytes of RAM, I would only really want to be setting a J8, because that's the maximum number of RAM. Now, not all programs will use that much, but it's probably better, if you're not going to be configuring, to just set it to that and have no dramas. And then we can also get into even deeper problems with this, of once you go over 12 threads, it doesn't usually use 2 gigs per thread. So yeah, you can see why it's it depends. So the reason why we use the 2 gig rule is because of this. It makes sense. If you don't understand it, just follow that rule, please. But yeah, I don't really think there's anything else I can really say about this. It's such a complex issue, and one that you'd need to micromanage, that you're better off just following the that default rule of thumb of 2 gigabytes of RAM per thread. But yeah, I hope you learned something out of this, and it makes MAKEOPTS a little bit clearer. And again, that doesn't mean that every program counts that. A good example would be WebKit TK. That one can go into the 4 gigabytes per thread. So if you ever get a compile fail, it's a good job to look into your D message and just see if you've got an out of memory issue and lower it down. Clear as mud, innit? Clear as mud. But yeah, takeaway is 2 gigs of RAM per thread. Catch you on the next one. Keep compiling. So it's clear I have a Gentoo addiction. If you want to help enable me, and in exchange make interesting videos for you, why not consider being like these wonderful people and donating to me? Prices start at $1, and it helps me to do tasks such as these. Please consider clicking on the Patreon link to find out more. Cheers, guys.